Woo lads, we did it! We have a 5-star strong Ditto max raid battle, which means we have a chance of getting a 6IV Ditto. So this is going to be your guide to getting a 6IV breeding Ditto in Pokemon Sword and Shield. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys, walk you through this battle, show you guys how to farm this kind of Ditto, and then what to do with it, all those other kind of crazy things. So if you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends for sure, and then just enjoy as we go for the Mad Lad Ditto farming. So yeah, when you actually get this set up, I strongly recommend just turning on the internet communication, because this is just going to help out other people. They'll see your Ditto raid battle, they're going to jump in, and then with everyone doing this, it kind of encourages a more community-driven way of getting high IV Dittos. So it usually takes about 30 seconds to fill up. People are kind of looking for these, but it just kind of depends on that RNG if someone's here. But as you might have noticed, there were already a lot of people around the well. This is where the farming is happening right now, guys. You gotta get that 5IV, 6IV Ditto, and then the battle, it's actually not too crazy, so when I get some people in, I'm gonna walk you guys through it, and then just other things to take in consideration. It's gonna be a good guide. Alright, so we in, and there's a few things that you want to take into consideration, that if you are the fastest Pokemon on the field, consider to not Dynamax first, because that's just going to make it harder to break through the shields, and since I'm the only level 100 this time, I'm going to pass it over, and then hopefully someone else picks up the slack. So really all you need is like just level 100 Pokemon, and this is going to be doable. Generally, if you take like the legendary from the... See, as you can see, I didn't even Dynamax, and we're able to start getting the shield up. I missed by just barely. I guess that might tell me that Ditto has defense IVs at the very least. So we got some crazy stuff going on. Then it's going to pass off to someone else. We'll break through the shields, and then it'll work out pretty well. Or maybe it would have been better for me to Dynamax, because then since I'm the highest, like the strongest person, it has like some weird interactions. This is actually the lowest level team I've had. I've already farmed a couple of Dittos, so just kind of take those things into consideration. So yeah, as this battle ends up playing out, I'm just going to plug my content, because everything in this game just kind of like folds into itself. That the reason why you want a high IV Ditto is to use for breeding. So this goes into my breeding guide. Check that in the description down below if you haven't seen it. Now, like I said, it is very beneficial to have a level 100 Pokemon. So if you want to get a level 100 Pokemon, check out my Battle Tower guide. You get like 30 free rare candies, and then if you just catch like a level 60 Pokemon, level it up for a bit, you can get a quick level 100 Pokemon to then start taking on max raid battles. And then my max raid battle guide is going to be coming out probably later today, so then subscribe, turn on notifications, so you can just kind of engage in all of my content and keep it up. And yeah, seems like we're still going pretty well. Hopefully that's enough to put up the shields, and then Farfetch'd is just going to carry us as we try to chip away some damage. So even with a weird team, it just kind of works as long as everyone has high levels and can strategize just a little bit. And I also recommend just watching this entire video, because if you need to do Watt farming, the main way of doing this is going to be with wishing pieces. Also, there's a way to soft reset this Ditto Den, so you might want to know about that as well. And I think this is also might have been a good idea for me to Dynamax first, or at least if you just like know you're the strongest Pokemon. Maybe if you aren't the fastest, because I've seen it to where if you can out-damage the shield and force a KO, it will ignore the shields and then just knock out the max raid battle Pokemon. So I'm recording this video on Tuesday the 19th. Pokemon Sword and Shield hasn't even been out for a week yet, so there's still going to be a lot more information that comes out in the future about like max raid battles or getting efficiency inside this game and stuff. So just kind of keep that in mind. If there's any major updates, you can find that in my pinned comment. That's going to be in the description or something. But overall, that went pretty well. And then things kind of get weird, because I've seen people get 5 IV Dittos from this, and also from other 5-star max raid battles, but it's not a guarantee. So there's like a good chance you get 5 IV, it's going to be a guaranteed 4 IV, and this is very reminiscent of SOS battling. That it's a lot quicker too. Like with SOS battles, you would go through it, and then after like 20 minutes, you know, cycling through and getting to a high chain, then you have a chance of getting that 4 IV Ditto that could be a 5 or 6 IV. With this, you just kind of do it. It takes a couple minutes, not really too long at all, and then that's going to be your 4 high chance at 5 IV Ditto. So it seems like the best way of getting a Ditto in any other Pokemon game, but they're still not guaranteeing that 6 IV, or at least they're still not giving you the free 5 IV. So it seems very similar to that. And then it's also not as like crazy as catch comboing or something, but there wasn't breeding in Pokemon Let's Go, so the power of that Ditto is greatly reduced. And now let's go and check it out, as well as like some of my other Dittos and stuff. Like I said, I did a few more battles before this one. So to the box, And this one, 4IV, so that was the first one I did. You can see the Dynamax levels change. So I'm wondering if that also impacts it or something. And then this is just going to be another 4IV Ditto. So if you like roll into the max Dynamax level, maybe that's what forces the 5IV Ditto or something. Now, when it comes to going for Dittos, all you really need are just a few 5IVs or your one godly 6IV, so it's definitely worth farming. You could probably get everything you need in the course of a day or just a few hours, and you just need a Ditto that has 5IVs with the one missing in attack, and then 5IVs with the one missing in special, and maybe ideally one without speed because there's slow, bulky Pokemon that you can run, and then you just have like a mixed Ditto ready for that. So if you want to find the Ditto Den, you just kind of reverse where I went right there. So that's going to be the daycare. You come out here, and then you make a right, and then it's going to be the one by the tree. You can't miss it when there's tons of people around with the Wycom on. Now, for wishing pieces, you're going to need Watts. So this is kind of where it this is where it kind of turns into my max raid battle guide, like I said, which will be coming out anyways. There is going to be some optimization around this. So wishing pieces, those are 3,000 watts each. I found out that you can get about 20,000 watts by just cycling through the wild area. So if you just go from Dynamax Den to Dynamax Den, and you just claim the 200 watts every time. Also, if you're doing any kind of exploration, I recommend turning off the internet for the Wycom, because the wild area doesn't lag unless you are connected, because there's so many people just kind of like running around in a live multiplayer Pokemon setup. But yeah, find out that if you just kind of go through the wild area, about 30 minutes you can claim all the dens, and that gets you close to 20,000 watts. That's how you get your 3,000, farm the 3,000, go and check the den. Maybe, oh, I did not want to do that. Good, it at least gives you the option if you do it at the wrong den. And there's also a chance that some of the hidden items you find in the wild area can be wishing pieces. Like, I collected all of the hidden items, I found 3 wishing pieces as well, so that really helps out. And this is where things get weird. So if you just throw a wishing piece into this den, there's actually a chance you can get Dubwool or Linoon. However, if this is a natural spawn one, it will 100% chance be a Ditto, and this is where the soft resetting comes into play. So you need to be quick. Throw in the wishing piece, get ready to save your adventure, prepare yourself, and then immediately hit the home button. This cancels it, and it's right before it saves. So as you use a wishing piece, it will save the game, but then you can tell by the aura. If it's a red light aura, just skip it. It's not worth it because there's a chance it can be Linoon or Dubwool, and so far, all 3 of my purple auras have been a Ditto, so I think that's another way of showing it just in general for Dynamax. If you're going for a specific species of Pokemon, and it has that purple aura, it kind of forces one of the spawns, and it also seems to be 5-star. And a 5-star suggests that it has like the highest chance of having 5 IVs and stuff like that, so once again, red. Like, you have to be quick, and you have to look for it really fast, so your reaction times and your like identification is going to be pretty good, but it's pretty easy to tell when it's purple, so that's a thing. Also, don't press too fast. Like, there's actually a chance that if you do it immediately, you can go to the homepage before it even shows what light it is, and then you might miss, so you could waste a wishing piece. But it doesn't really take too long, and then these are going to be the resets that are involved in going for the crazy Dittos. Side note, max raid battles are weird. So I just got the purple aura, but this time it was a 3-star. So what that tells me is that the purple aura at least guarantees a Ditto instead of getting a Dubwool or a Linoon, and then there's a good chance it's 5 stars. And there it is, exactly what we're looking for. Purple Beam, 5-star, Brilliant Aura Ditto, and once again, we're still gonna have to wait for like the full information on how all of this stuff works. I really feel like that when you do something like this, it increases the chance of a 5-star beyond just randomly rolling it, because I've seen quite a few people with 5IV Ditto, with 5IV from any 5-star Brilliant Aura max raid battle, so that's gonna be something to keep in mind. And then there's just the god luck of pulling that 6IV Ditto. One thing to note is that for competitive Pokemon, if you have fantastic IVs and not best, that means you have 30 out of 31 on the IVs, and at level 50, it's effectively the same as just having a max IV. So that's something to take into consideration, and like I said, if you want to do this, it's probably just best to help. So when you find the purple aura, turn on the Wycom, get people in, and that might make it easier depending on who's coming in and stuff, and then you just kind of play out the battle from there. And there is one thing I wanted to clarify in my breeding guide, that I said that if you receive a 6IV Ditto from anyone, it is absolutely going to be hacked, and using it is no different than hacking yourself. That still holds up, even if you can get easy 5, 6IV Dittos through this method, because if someone does that, it takes hours and hours and potentially days for that 6IV to get one. No one's going to give it away for free. And hacking is already available inside the games because Pika Hex, giveaways, and stuff like that. So if you just randomly receive a 6IV Ditto, just know that by using it, even for breeding, it makes you no different than a cheater, and cheating in a kid's game makes you an asshole. It's just fact. So this is why you're watching this guide and you're going into the legitimate breeding guide and stuff like that. This is still better. This is still a better way of getting Dittos than any other method that we've seen, except for Let's Go. And that's going to be interesting to see if Ditto from Let's Go transferred into Pokemon Home are going to work. But then there's also going to be a thing that when Pokemon Home comes out, most people will have their teams competitively bred, but it's a lot easier to get a 5, 6IV Ditto in Pokemon Let's Go and then bring it over. So we got some weird stuff going on like that. And then there's also the Virtual Console, that every Pokemon you catch in the Red, Blue, Yellow Virtual Console, when transferred over into Pokemon Sun and Moon, has 3 IVs. I caught 100 Ditto, and I ended up with a few 5 IV Dittos, and one technically perfect 6 IV, because I had 0 speed. And then a Fantastic or something. So we got some really crazy Dittos off that, and this is kind of the same. It's really thrilling. It's really exhilarating. I'm actually really surprised that no one has actually joined in on this one yet. But it's really exciting when you have all of that stuff coming together, and then you just see if you get that 5, 6 IV Ditto, and you just get a couple 5 IVs, you're going to be good to go. You're going to have the ultimate breeding setup. Okay, so we actually didn't find anyone, which means that this is just going to be another twist on the guide. If you don't find anyone, if you don't have Nintendo Online so you can't connect, you really need a level 100 Pokemon. This goes into the max raid battle guide that I'm going to be doing. So the higher level the Pokemon you use, the higher level the support trainers that you get. And it's pretty much impossible if you have anything under a level 90 to do a 5-star raid battle, because then your support trainers just get one shot. I think that's just in general. It might be different when it comes to the Ditto, because Ditto has to transform and doesn't have a crazy amount of damage anyways. So we're just doing damage. We're just going to get through the shields. And you just have to hope that the AI tries to chip through the shields for you. And that's kind of it. Wow, so this battle is actually going a lot faster than my other max raid battles with people online. That's mostly because of selection. Communication, other people being slow and indecisive, it makes it take a lot more time. And with a low 100, it looks like the support trainers make it completely doable. All you have to do is rush your Dynamax and then just do max attacks until you win and stuff like that. So there is that trade-off. It's much faster to do it in the single player like this if you can handle 5-star raid battles. But if you want to help people out with that chance for giving them a Ditto, or if you just have friends as well, you get one, you call up all your friends, alright, let's hit it, I got that 4-star, or I got the 5-star 4, 6 IV Ditto, let's go and catch them together. That's another thing to consider, but it does take a lot more time, and yeah, this is actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, because I've had some pretty traumatic 5-star max raid battle experiences so far. It's just weird stuff. And then I also recommend using a repeat ball, so you just catch a Ditto in Lake Outrage, because that's the Ditto location, and it's used for basic breeding. But then as you're going into higher level Dittos, or the max raid battle Dittos, then this is the way to go. So repeat balls give you a ridiculous chance of catching the Pokemon when you've already caught it, and that means you're not gonna miss getting a Ditto. If you use an Ultra Ball, it's gonna be worse than using a repeat ball. And I don't really know how Dusk Balls work at night or the time of day for this. I failed catches on Dusk Ball before, so I think Repeat Ball is just the safe bet. I'm 4 for 4 on Ditto catches, so I'm going to call it the safe bet. And now, let's check our boy, the Ditto. 60, yep. So it's a higher level, lower Dynamax level, only 4 IVs. So just gotta keep at it. But this is actually really cool and really fun. It's every max raid battle that you do turns into a loot box, and there's just that chance that you can end up with the 5, 6 IV Ditto that handles all of your breeding needs. And I think it's definitely worth it. I've only been here for a couple of minutes to make this video. It took 20 minutes to make the entire video, so I got 2 raid battles. If I was playing faster, if you're doing in the non-online, you can probably get a lot more than that. Farming watts isn't too crazy. So I mean, over the course of a week, you could actually end up with both 5 IV Dittos, or just get super lucky early on and get the legitimate 6 IV Ditto for yourself. And I really like the idea behind it. So it seems to be quite a bit faster than doing it for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, or just Pokemon Sun and Moon with SOS. And then get yourself a breeding Ditto, play legitimately, and all that other fun stuff. Hope this video helped. If you enjoy it, leave a like, have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.